it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
Hear that?
I didn't hear that, but
What do you think of
sounds like something she'd say. I like that laugh.
If I told you that the man in the video was one of the most influential music acts of the 21st century, would you believe me? Well, I am not lying because that man is Justin Drew Bieber. Last year, because it was such a big year for women in music, both long-standing iconic artists such as Beyonce with Cowboy Carter and Taylor Swift with the Torture Poets Department, and artists rising to popularity such as Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, and Chappell Roan. There has been a lot of online discourse of where are the male pop stars? Where are the male pop boys? And I even contributed to this conversation by making a video last year, but still, the question burns in the back of my mind. Where are the male pop stars? But very recently, I had this aha moment. I have this theory, and it's called the Justin Bieber Pop Boy Paradox. Okay, so let me explain. So, on one hand, if you're too similar to Justin, and if you're often being compared to him, you will not be as successful as him because we already have a Justin Bieber. You're not going to be successful if you're just a copycat version of him. But then on the opposite hand, if you're way too vastly different from Justin Bieber, then it'll be damn near impossible to match or outreach his success as an artist. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, annoying black boy, what the actual heck? But do not fret, I will explain the whole theory throughout this entire video. And then you can be the judge of my analysis in the comment section below. But before I explain the paradox, I do want to give a few quick disclaimers. So number one, I'm literally a K-pop stan. I know all about the groups in Korea. I know all about like the male pop stars in Korea. My favorite boy group being Tomorrow by Together. But I'm really talking about Western artists because a lot of the discourse was surrounding Western male artists. Second thing is I'm not going to get into his controversies. And I do have my own biases against Justin because of, you know, some of the stuff he has done. But that's not what this video is about. So to support my theory, I'm just going to be presenting the facts and the evidence, and yes. And last but not least, this is just a fun little theory. I might be onto something, or I just might be fucking dumb, so you be the judge of that, like I said earlier. But of course, I would love to hear your insight, your thoughts, and opinions. With all that being said, hello, I'm Annoying Black Boy, and I like making videos on these topics relating to pop culture and society. So if that appeals to you, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Now, let's get into the Justin Bieber Pop Boy Paradox. Let's go.
Do you get an allowance?
I don't really have an allowance. I just like...
I'm really excited, and he's excited because he put it all together.
And it's in 3D, so that's why we have our 3D glasses here. Imagine this guy in 3D right in your living rooms, wherever you are.
I'm sure this man needs no introduction, but in case you're Patrick Star and have been living under a rock for the last almost 20 years, Justin Drew Bieber is a Canadian pop star from London, Ontario, Canada, and was born on March 1st, 1994, and is considered a pop icon. He started posting song covers at the age of 12 on the video sharing platform YouTube in 2007. This was at a time when YouTube was still in its early stages. The platform was founded on Valentine's Day of 2005, and the first upload was on April 23rd of the same year by one of the co-founders titled Me at the Zoo. Now, Justin Bieber wasn't the first music artist to post song covers on YouTube, but he was one of the first to be discovered and to gain a massive following and gain a very successful career, inspiring other artists to post on social media platforms such as Shawn Mendes, Ruth B, and Alessia Cara. And it's funny how all the artists I literally just mentioned are also Canadian. In 2008, Scooter Braun and Usher founded the label Raymond Braun Media Group. Justin was discovered by Scooter, later becoming his manager, and brought to the States by Usher. Justin was signed in October of the same year, and then he released his debut EP, My World, on November 17, 2009. His debut single, One Time, was released on May 18, 2009. The EP's musical elements included pop, dance pop, and R&B, and lyrically the EP touched on young love and coming-of-age situations. The EP is considered to be the first half of what eventually would become his debut studio album, My World, which was released on March 19, 2010. His lead single Baby was released on January 18th, 2010, and when I tell you this song took the world by storm, I am not exaggerating. It launched Justin Bieber into mega stardom. The song was played on the radio, at department stores, at shopping malls, at the club, at your dentist's office, and especially at your awkward 8th grade middle school dance. The song was inescapable in the year of 2010, and the music video often frequently played on music channels on TV. When you were out in public and you heard the beginning vocal notes and the intro of the song, you simultaneously heard the scream of a billion teenage girls. Even though the song was very favored with millions of people, also millions of people hated the song. The Baby music video is the 39th most viewed video on YouTube, but also the 4th most disliked video on the platform, with over 12 million dislikes according to Uniled. But the song did what it had to do, and it did launch them into mega stardom, like I said, with performing on very popular TV shows at the time, such as Saturday Night Live and American Idol. And of course, we can't talk about Justin Bieber without talking about Bieber fever. Bieber fever refers to global fandom and media hysteria surrounding the pop star's rise to fame. This happened around 2009, but didn't take off until after the release of Baby in 2010. This isn't the first time a term was coined referring to a massive cult following. In the 60s, there was Beatlemania, and a couple years after Justin's debut, there was the notorious One Direction infection in the early 2010s. However, on a deeper psychological level, the term taps into the concept of teenage fandom. A large demographic of Justin's fans were tweens and teenage girls. And a lot of those young girls projected their romantic parasocial feelings onto Justin because it was a safe way to express their romantic attraction to the opposite sex. And trust me, we will circle back to that. Early in Justin's career, his fashion style reflected his young age, often including baseball hats, cardigans, and chunky sneakers. His favorite color, purple, also was tied into his signature style, especially during the My World 2.0 era. While performing, one of his most iconic outfits is his white monochromatic fit with chunky purple sneakers. He was also known for his infamous bowl cut. Now let's talk about some Justin Bieber pop culture references. On Fox's TV show Glee, in Season 2, Episode 13, titled Comeback, Sam Evans dressed up like Justin Bieber by wearing a purple jacket, and he serenades the show choir with Justin's Somebody to Love, dedicated to Quinn. Justin made a cameo in Keke Palmer's show True Jackson VP as himself. The Disney Channel show Shake It Up even had a character very much inspired by Justin Bieber called, I kid you not, Justin Star.
Justin Bieber and Austin Mahone have a lot in common.
They do,
but,
safe to say.
But Austin Mahone says, do not get it twisted. I am not Justin Bieber.
Like I said in the intro with explaining the Justin Bieber Pop Boy Paradox, if you're often compared to Justin or if you're too similar to him, then I don't think you'll have longevity as an artist. I mean similar and or compared in every which way, whether that be the type of clothing you're wearing or the type of music you're making or even the way you're marketed and branded, then I don't think you have as good of a chance because, like I said, we already have Justin Bieber. We do not need a Justin Bieber 2.0. The last thing any artist would want is to be compared. Inspired is one thing, but when you're compared and being called a copycat, that's another. And there was a lot of pop boys at the time that were being called Justin Bieber 2.0 or copycat Justins. And two artists I'm going to be using as an example of this are Cody Simpson and Austin Mahone. So let's briefly talk about Cody Simpson first. Cody Simpson is an Australian singer, actor, and former competitive swimmer. He began playing and taking guitar lessons at the age of 7. He started posting song covers on YouTube by age 12, covering songs from various artists such as Justin Bieber, Justin Timberlake, Jason Mraz, and Michael Jackson. He then went on to sign with Atlantic Records in 2010. On September 22, 2011, it was announced that Cody Simpson hired Scooter Braun as his own manager. Cody was even the opening act during Justin's Believe tour on the European leg and some of the shows for the US leg. Very early on, Cody even acknowledged the comparisons. They were both teenage heartthrobs, they made pop music, and according to some, had similar hairstyles.
Everybody seems, because of the hair, the age, everybody compares you to Justin. Are you like a fan? Are you gonna go watch his movie, or?
I'd love to go watch his movie. Like, I met Justin a few times, and he's, we get along well. He's a really nice guy, and I'm a big fan of his, definitely. He has definitely, a lot of people compare me to him as I am, like, young, and I sing pop music and everything.
Got
but
the same haircut.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
He's kind of going a little short now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like it a lot, yeah.
Kind of have the Justin Bieber look going. Do you think you would ever collab with him?
I have thought about that. I mean, we've been talking. He's a really nice guy, and he's definitely like. I mean, being young, being 14 years old and singing pop music, it is like, people are going to compare me to him and stuff, but I definitely, working on my album, I want to create my own sound, I want to be my own person as well, so.
The first time I believe I was introduced to Cody Simpson is when he was the musical guest on the first episode of So Random, performing his song All Day, which aired on June 5th, 2011. Fast forward to 2022, Justin joined the Australian swim team after qualifying for the Commonwealth Games, but in June 2024, he retired from competitive swimming after failing to qualify for the Paris Olympics. Some other fun facts about Cody Simpson: his first girlfriend was Kylie Jenner, and he also dated Miley Cyrus. He made a guest appearance in the TV show Instant Mom. In 2018, he made his musical debut playing the role of Dimitri in Anastasia. He's also written a poetry book that was published in 2020, and literally I bought the book around that time. Yes. Throughout his musical career, he has released 4 studio albums. His latest one, self-titled, was released 3 years ago, but nothing is as popular as it used to be. So yes, he's still making music, but not with the success he once had. Now for Austin Mahone. He's an American singer from Austin, Texas, and he gained recognition covering pop songs on YouTube. I'm sensing a pattern here. He started posting in June 2010, and by January 2011, he began building an online following. In October 2011, he posted a video covering Justin Bieber's Mistletoe, and has stated that Justin was one of his musical inspirations. On August 28, 2012, Austin announced that he had been officially signed to Chase/Republic Records. The song sounds very of its time, and I mean that in the not so best possible way, and it is still one of his most popular songs. His most popular song is the one featuring Mr. Worldwide himself, Pitbull, called Yeah, as it has 252 million views on YouTube. He's still making music, but nothing's as popping as it used to be, with only getting thousands of views, especially since he went independent in late 2015 after leaving his label. Other reasons for his demise is his team not knowing how to brand him, and him not having this identity, this sole identity to who he was as an artist. But what I think was most detrimental is his switch to country music. He's now making country music, which is definitely a choice. And I do think his comparisons to Justin did hurt his career in the long run, even though very early on he did say that he was very different from Justin.
Quote, I can kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's kind of obnoxious. They see a young kid who sings and dances and they're like, oh, another Justin Bieber. Like, you don't even know. You don't know me. You don't know my music. You're just making assumptions. So
Meowing tonight? Okay. Wait, I actually...
But also, if you're vastly different from Justin Bieber as a pop male artist, then it'll be basically damn near impossible to outreach or match his success and his massive following. So what I mean by that is Justin Bieber is a straight white man. So it's not that we don't have any male pop stars, it's that a majority of you guys don't want to listen to them if they're queer, and especially if they're a queer person, a queer man of color. There are so many examples of this. Troye Sivan, and yes, I know he's a white man, he's a white gay man, but his fans are a certain demographic of people, so that's why I included him. But yes, Troye Sivan, Conan Gray, Lil Nas X, Kevin Abstract, Isaac Dunbar, Omar Apollo, Omar Rudberg. But I will say, Lil Nas X was so close, but I think 2 things really hurt his career. So one thing was he came out and he faced so much scrutiny from the black community, and that is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, how there's so much deep-rooted homophobia in the black community, which is I'm just so, about me being someone who is gay and black. What also hurt Lil Nas X is using Christian imagery in his visuals and his aesthetics, and a lot of people found that to be mockery and blasphemous. And that's when he really started to lose Instagram followers over that. And like I said, a lot of tweens and teenage girls were fans of Justin as they launched their parasocial romantic feelings onto Justin. And you can't really do that with gay male artists. And like I said earlier, a lot of tweens and teenage girls were fans of Justin as they launched their parasocial romantic attraction towards him. And what even hyped that up even more was the fact that he was singing about young love and heartbreak. And young tween and teenage girls can't really do that with gay male pop stars for obvious reasons. And obviously the romantic parasocial attraction couldn't and wouldn't be mutual. So the idea of the male pop star being gay kind of breaks the fantasy of you eventually becoming his wife. A lot of girls dreamed about becoming Justin Bieber's wife. And with someone like Troye Sivan, you can't really do that. And also a lot of people listen to artists that they could relate to. A lot of heterosexual young girls won't relate to the experiences of being a gay man. They could find similarities with like being attracted to men, but obviously the queer experience is very different. The queer male experience is very different from the heterosexual woman experience. Yeah, so it's very challenging for queer artists to get general public recognition. So artists like Troye will most likely have a large audience of queer fans because they can relate to the songs better and relate to the subject matter of being gay. And not to get too tinfoil hat on you guys, but the rise of conservatism and the re-election of the Orange Man and plenty of Gen Z boys voting Republican and being right-winged could be this cause and effect with politics and entertainment, which is very scary. Very scary times we're living in. Also, people are homophobic and don't want to support queer artists, but you already knew that. You already knew that. But before I close out this section and get into my final thoughts, I do want to give a quick shout out to Omar Rugberg. He portrayed Simone in the Netflix drama series Young Royals. He's a very talented singer, and of course his character sang in the show as he was a part of the school choir. He's also just one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen, and he does have a solo music career, and I want to see him thrive. I want to see him succeed. He deserves so much success, and he does have writers, especially on Twitter, and he's very like vocal and active on Twitter, and he does have like a lot of stands and stuff, but I believe he deserves mainstream recognition because he is chef's kiss.
What the fuck you say?
You heard what I said, man.
What'd you say?
You heard what I fucking said, mate. Lose your fucking belt. Lose your fucking belt. Lose your fucking belt.
Now it is time for my final thoughts. And before I start, I know there's going to be somebody that comments, what about One Direction? What about Harry Styles? Yes, I hear you. But I think that's what made One Direction work, because they were a group. They weren't a solo artist. And I think that's what the pop culture musical stratosphere was missing. We were missing a boy group. It's kind of like One Direction was our Beatles. It was our NSYNC. One Direction was the Gen Z pop boy band. A boy band of a generation, yes. Well, yes. And also, if you didn't care for Justin's personality, One Direction could have been the perfect alternative for you, because each member of One Direction and so many boy groups, each member of One Direction had a certain brand identity. So Louis was the sassy one, he was the oldest, and he was seen as the mom of the group. Liam, the second oldest, he was seen as the dad of the group. He was called Daddy Direction. Who else? Zayn, he was considered the bad boy, which looking back retrospectively might have been very, very targeted because he was the only brown member of the group. So, and yeah, he was like my bias wrecker, or my lane wrecker. But I love Zayn. And Niall was my favorite. Absolutely adore him. Niall was the Irish one. And the only one with blonde hair. Love him down. And Harry was like the golden child. He was the youngest. He was, I think, the one people saw as the star, but he was also labeled as the womanizer, which was certainly a choice. But I do think Harry Styles, after Justin Bieber, is probably considered one of the most popular pop boys. I think the reason why Harry Styles works so well because his musical inspiration, and his musical style was very different from Justin's. And also, Harry Styles is a cisgendered, probably straight. I think he's straight. I think Harry Styles is straight. White man. So it was that mix. It was that he was in the middle. He wasn't too vastly different from Justin Bieber, but he also wasn't too similar. That's what makes it a paradox, baby. And I know some of you guys are gonna come out. What about Shawn Mendes? What about Shawn Mendes?
A kid now like Shawn Mendes and think like, man, I wish it was going through what he's going through now with what I know now.
Who's Shawn Mendes?
Oh, He's on Island. He's from Southern Ontario. He's 17 years old. Got a song called Stitches that's like doing okay at pop radio.
Nice. Good for him.
So Shawn Mendes to me is very tricky, and I don't know, maybe I could do a little video on him or something, but I think he was really popping in the mid 2010s, so around 2014, because I think he debuted in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. I think around that time, that was his golden era. But he just had an album that came out, I want to say last year, right? And he performed at the VMA, so he's still an artist. He's still doing the artist thing, but I feel like he's not being talked about enough in these pop head spaces where we talk about pop culture and stuff like that. I don't know. He's very, I don't know. Like, and then he did Camila Cabello. I just don't know. Like, I feel like the girlies are not talking about Shawn Mendes, and I want to know why. So yes, you really can't deny the impact that Justin Bieber has had on pop culture in the last almost 20 years. It's just so fascinating because I often think, where would we be if we didn't have Justin Bieber? And I'm not meaning that in like a I'm kissing his ass type of way, but the fact that he was referenced in so many pop culture moments, the fact that this whole phenomenon of him as a person, him as an artist, has been a thing ever since I was about 9-10 years old. Like, he has been in my life for a majority of my life, and I just find that very, like, wow. I don't know. Yeah. And of course, for children, he was literally our current event, because people were literally talking about him in school. Whether you loved Justin Bieber down and was a believer, or if you hated his guts, people were talking about him. I found this quick little blog article, and it was called An Everlasting Case of Bieber Fever. And this one section reads, elementary school lunch was when I'd spend my time defending Bieber to the masses of other kids that didn't see what I saw in my teenage heartthrob. So yes, the impact on Justin Bieber needs to be studied. Wait, I kind of already did that. Yes, I did. So yeah, okay. So yeah, you guys, it is now your turn. Please tell me your thoughts, your opinions, your insights. What do you think about my little theory? What do you think about the Justin Bieber Pop Boy Paradox? I really want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this, because I find this very interesting. And I'm very surprised, at least from what I saw, I've never seen anyone talk about this. Talk about why the pop boys aren't pop boying. And I know part of the reason is because women had such a big year in music last year. And this year, 2025, has been very kind of dry. Like, according to some people, we still haven't had a song of the summer. And who was popping? That Alex Warren guy? I don't even know who that is. I'm sorry. Alex Warren, I don't know who you are. Maybe I gotta check him out. But yeah, yeah, like I said, please tell me your thoughts, your opinions. I'm very curious. Justin Bieber, and you know what's so funny? Like, you know that Justin Bieber is still so relevant today, because on TikTok, as we speak, there's this whole editing trend of the song Beauty and the Beat by Justin Bieber featuring Nicki Minaj, where it's Nicki's rap first, and that's kind of trending with like editing TikTok. That side of TikTok. So yeah, it's like, I feel like he's just always going to be relevant within my lifetime. So I just, yeah, and I just thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching, because I definitely enjoyed making this video, having this little analysis. And you guys, do not worry, I will see you next time, okay? And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.